What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. What is today? Happy Wednesday? Yeah, happy Wednesday to you. Let us get right into it. Today, I wanted to discuss whether or not you should be concerned about the death cross that is rearing its head on Bitcoin's 4-hour chart. But before that, let me just do a quick overview on the market. You see, we're having a green day early here on Wednesday. Everything is pretty much up in USD value, at least the top alts are. A couple of these we did send out trade alerts for. Cardano, we sent out a trade alert for. Litecoin, we've been sending out trade alerts for. Up now 360% on Litecoin since we started scaling into it. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. It'll cost you less than a cup of coffee every couple of weeks, and you get to exchange ideas and strategy with other traders in the group. Bitcoin dominance is currently at around 55.4%, 261 bill on the market cap. Bitcoin has once again breached the 8,100 level. So why don't we take a look at Bitcoin, and I want to talk about this death cross here, right? Because this, based on the chat on the Discord, this seems to be on a lot of traders' minds. And I want to contextualize this and see what are the possibilities that can arise from this, right? Because as traders, what you want to do is gather as much information as you can to learn how to react to the market. It's not about predicting whether you are right or wrong on a certain movement. It's about preparing yourself to make the right movements for when the market reacts in, either a bullish or a bearish direction or even sideways. But basically just preparing yourself to react accordingly. So you can clearly see on the 4-hour that Bitcoin is holding up against the 200 MA, which is this green line here. And you could see that the 50 MA, which is the orange line, has breached and crossed over the 200 MA and now fallen below it. This is called a death cross. But for context, we are on the 4-hour chart. This is not a daily chart or a weekly or a monthly, right? So it means less in the overall grand scheme of things. Nonetheless, what can occur here? Well, let us look at the last death cross, right? Because the best predictor of future events is previous behavior or past behavior. So if we look at the last death cross that happened, it happened on around January 2019. Well, what were the consequences of that? So if we measure the price drop from when the death cross took place, let's just say that the swing high here, the swing high close here, and the swing low or the lowest point on this short downtrend, you'll see that we are at about 9.8, 9.7% drop. So it's not the end of the world, right? A death cross on the 4-hour can happen and really not have a huge bearing on overall price. Well, if we take a look at that and say that Bitcoin, and currently you see there's clear resistance at the yellow line, which is the 100 MA, right? So it's lodged between the 200 and the 100 here, and that is looking to make a decision. But if we take a drop similar to the 9.7, let's just call it 10% that we saw, back in January, and you project that here and you say that Bitcoin can sustain at least a 10% drop, could be less, could be more. But again, you're trying to prepare yourself to make the best trades possible or react in the best way accordingly, right? So you have a minus 10% drop. Well, that puts us at around 7,350, right? 7,400, 7,350. So if you look at whether that is a support zone or not, it clearly is, right? It is around, it's around here where we wicked down a few times on the 4-hour during this channel. So it is not out of line that Bitcoin sees, a resistance here at the 100, and the death cross then causes Bitcoin to drop about 10% and wick against this support once again, as it has, all the way through June, really. And you might be saying to yourself, well, if Bitcoin falls below the 200 MA, then, it's all over. No, well, it fell below the 200 MA, back here on the first or second week of June, and it popped back up. So these things aren't really set in stone. And again, you're looking at a 4-hour chart. So contextualize that, and you want to compare that with an overall reading, which you can most likely see on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, would a drop to 7,300 or 7,400 be the end of the world? No, you'd still be above the 50-day MA, right? And these golden crosses on the daily are still in effect. Now, I have said before that Bitcoin has to sustain a sort of correction above 20%. It did that about 6 times during the last bull rally between 2015 and 2017, or beginning of 2018. I did a video on that actually a few days ago. But if you look at the swing high close here and you measure down 20%, that would take you around where the 50-day MA would be. Obviously, this is in flux. This is not, static. So the 50-day MA, if Bitcoin does start to trade sideways a bit, we would see a 20% drop at around the 50-day MA, which is in line. It's fine. I mean, that is expected during violent rallies, and it is expected in a bull market, and we definitely are in a bull market. And on the daily, it looks like it is potentially forming a head and shoulders. Obviously, I don't like to project patterns, and I always say don't project patterns on your charts because you are likely to make a decision before the pattern actually plays out or is even confirmed. So you could see a head and shoulders here, and that pattern is not confirmed, it's denied, and you could see a rally from there. So the bullish and bearish scenarios, obviously on the upside, is another move to retest around 9,000, around this level here. The bearish move is we'll see a head and shoulders pattern confirmed. We will see the death cross on the 4-hour at the same time, a confluence of indicators. We'll see the death cross on the 4-hour take shape, and we could see a potential drop to about either 74, around 7,400, or at the worst around the 50-day MA. From that point, you reassess and see what Bitcoin's market movement is doing, how the volume is reacting, how trader sentiment is reacting to it, and you can make another assessment from there, whether we will go lower or whether Bitcoin is ready to bounce off of that level. So in conclusion, I just wanted to contextualize this death cross for you and show you that it is not the end of the world, especially based on historical precedents. A drop below the 200 MA on the 4-hour is not the end of the world either. We've dropped below it and bounced back several times. There is a bearish pattern forming on the 4-hour, which is an ascending wedge. Within the ascending wedge, obviously the price is rising, but at the conclusion of the ascending wedge, you expect to see a drop and a breakdown in price that takes you below the support zone on the ascending wedge. So based off of that, I think we will see a retracement or perhaps a correction of Bitcoin's price. And if not, if the ascending wedge is breached and broken to the upside, then we will see a retest of the swing highs at around 9,000. Taking a look at a couple of alts, if you look at Litecoin, you'll see that Litecoin has hit our first midterm target of 140 and is now seeing some retracement, some rejection at the 140 resistance level, which is the top of this regression channel as well. My 2019 target for Litecoin is around $175 before the halvening that happens in August. If you look at ETH, we did send out a trade alert for ETH as well. ETH looks like it is bouncing off of this month-long support level above the green Kumo cloud on the Ichimoku, and the RSI is bouncing off of similar levels that it has since February. We have seen coins like ETH and LTC and EOS act somewhat independently of Bitcoin as well. So it is very likely that we will continue to see rallies in these top alts without Bitcoin's assistance. That is it for this video. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, sign up. A link is in the description below. You'll see that we have the crypto trade alerts here. We posted the LTC results as well as the stock trade alerts for the diamond traders and above. You'll see that we have made a 15% play on Tesla, among other things. So if you want access to the stock trade alerts as well, and you're automatically entered for the 0.03 Bitcoin drawing, then you will have to be a part of the diamond traders and above. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. If you have a question or comment, leave it in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, please. Stay safe out there. Peace.